we shape the next generation. Place where we discuss issues like relationships, career and business advice, education and religious matters, and much, much more. So sit back, watch, and be informed. Your host is Laban Bithi.
We are glad that, good evening once again. We are happy that you found time to join us. We are happy that you are part of this forum. We are happy that you've kept it JM Top Forum, where we get inspired, we get impacted, and we get made influential. Because as we said a while ago, that in the scripture says, the creation is awaiting the manifestation of the sons of man. That is a key purpose why we are always keeping it JM Top Forum, because we want a generation that is going to come along with much impact. Well, so it's a great day that today we are joined by new faces. As you know me, my name, I'm always the host. My name is Laban, and we are back to this show. For quite some time I've not been with you, but I'm glad that we are back, and we are back very strong. Well, it's an interesting moment. We have our guests today. They are looking well packaged, beautiful ladies, and we are happy to have you. We are happy to have you join us today. And this is JM Top Forum, where we reach out to the youth, we reach out to the world at large. And even before you introduce yourselves, this studio, or rather this Talk Forum, we are looking to expand this to become a Christian TV studio. That is the larger vision of what we are doing here. So it is a great vision. I'm talking that because the topic of today will be correlated with that. That is where we are looking has to be, because you want to preach Christ all over the world and to change many, to reach out to the unreached, doing mission work, going out to preach, coming back in the studio to preach the gospel, to talk issues about mental health, issues about relationships, issues about career growth, issues about the church, and for us to reach out. It was just a brief on what it entails, now being that it is our first time to have you here. Yeah, so we can introduce ourselves as we proceed to the discussion of today. For my far right, yeah, karibu.
Hello viewers, my name is Evelyn Bithi Laban. I'm born again, and I'm glad to be in this session. So,
yeah. Thank you so much, Evelyn. It's a great pleasure to have you. Karibu.
Thank you. I'm Caroline Mumo Kitana by name. Yeah, I'm excited and glad to be here.
Thank you so much, Carol, for finding time in your busy schedules to come and to reach out to the generation. As we normally say that people are not just available, it means that there is something that you vested in the generation, that you too have found time to come and to reach out to the generation. As I have mentioned in the scripture, the creation is awaiting the revealing of the sons of God. And impact is a key component in the same. We are talking about waiting on God. And today, the subtopic for today will be building capacity as a youth. As you wait on God, then we want everybody who was watching all over to understand how I can build my capacity, that I'm going to be an influential youth, influential in my career, influential in my, whatever God has vested in me, and also influential spiritually. That is the topic for today, building capacity as a youth. So remain tuned as we get in to discuss about this topic. And I believe it will get to your nerves so well. Tag a friend, share to your social media forums, and ensure this message gets to as many people as possible. Karibu sana. Well, so Carol, even without touching the aspect of the youth, what's your understanding about building capacity, so that listener will be able to understand first, without even mentioning the youth, what is the understanding about building capacity?
Okay, building capacity, to my understanding, is, in short, self-improvement, rather.
Yeah.
Yeah, self-improvement, whereby you increase yourself in terms of knowledge,
Absolutely.
skills, just getting to build on what you have already. Yeah, gaining that extra on top of what you have.
Wow, thank you so much, Carol. How about yourself, Eva?
Building capacity, for me, I'll term it as equipping yourself.
Yes.
In all dimensions of life. And it's like putting supplements to what you already have, to an existing character or something that you've started. Supplements on that. So equipping yourself and putting supplements to what is already there.
Yeah.
Yes.
So on the same, Eva, is there a specific age that somebody is required to build capacity, even as we focus on the youth? Can it happen in the youth and still happen even in the grown people?
There is no specific age, even I say, of you building capacity. There's even at young age, for the young children, if I may say, they also build their capacity. They know it's their right to get breastfed. And there's that time in Afikanga, they just feel it's their time to get this, or it's their time kutovalishwa pampers. So because already they have a well-known of how they are growing. So there is no a specific time that now it's my time to build a capacity.
Yeah.
Well, it might apply to teenagers. That's where we get our IDs at 18 years. You see, from there are those who just get, I'm now a grown up, I need now to start putting goals and all that. So yes, it might apply there.
Wow. Carol, there are key parameters or principles in building capacity, or ways in which now, as we now get back to focus on the youth, ways in which that this young person can build capacity. Let us not limit ourselves to matter spirituality alone. We can get to the aspect of the career, the aspect of character, as she has said, the aspect of understanding yourself. You know, just let us not just focus on one, understanding ways in which that we can build capacity. Yes.
Yeah, as you have mentioned, the ways in which we can build capacity are actually limitless, really, because based on one's desires and goals and where they want to go in life, then you get to determine the kind of stuff you'll expose yourself to be able to learn. So we have, I think, basically, you can increase capacity knowledge-wise by reading, by studying. You can also increase your capacity by gaining that extra skill. You know, maybe putting yourself out there to learn how to bake if you don't know how to, learning how to maybe play an instrument or something, you know. And then we also have the aspect of discipline and character, where that comes in. I think you've also mentioned that. So yeah, there are several ways that you can really embark on when we talk of you know, building capacity. It's all based on you as a person and on who you are. Because again, you can't do everything 1001. But it's like that icing on the cake that you put on top of yourself. Yeah, and it never stops.
Wow. Maybe Eva, do you have some other ways that we can build capacity in?
Well, I'll put it in the 5 initials, or there are 5. Being epic, empowerment, influential, and have that Christ-like character. I'm a follower, or rather I participate in a forum for women. We call ourselves Epic Women, and I've come to realize it's not for ladies alone. It cuts across both female and men. So having that Christ-like character, it will help you build your capacity. Being influential. And here, being influential, you pick it in mostly when you influence, you have that, how do I put it? You influence people positively. If you have a talent, you can just start doing vocals with them, training them. If you have a thing in encouraging people, you can start something to encourage them. And then having that Christ-like character. You see, our Christ was slow to anger, he was so loving, and even up to now, having that Christ-like character. And then be empowered. Empowerment here will come from knowledge is everywhere. You pick what can help you. So being empowered, empowerment, influential, having a Christ-like character.
So if we get back to the church setup, because I believe we have been leaders at a certain capacity in the church, in the school, how can these people that we are leading build capacity? One, it matters spirituality. Are there ways in which the young people that we are leading, they can build capacity? Maybe if I can just give a brief, maybe in prayer, they want to do it in a certain way. Maybe in like somebody has mentioned, in reading books, building their capacity, because we've said that we want to make an impact by the end of the day. But sometimes back at a show, and we always say that the future has been vested in the youth. That's true. But now, what does the youth do so that the future does not get distorted? What is it that now in the church setup, the ways that the young people must do so that by the end of the day, that capacity they have built can cause them to have an impact by the end of the day? Carol.
what can that young person do? What can the young people do so that they can have impact? I want to pick that question and approach it from a general perspective because okay, first I'll focus on the spiritual side of it. We talked about prayer and the word of God, and also getting to know who you are, you know. Like who has God made you to be? What is your identity? Not everyone, see, we have the influence of our men of God, you know, like the pastors, the evangelists, you know, in that level, that is who they are. But who am I? I may not be the pastor, I may not be the deacon, but who am I spiritually? You know, you get to identify who you are, and just by, I believe, as a Christian, once you have received Christ in your heart, something is birthed in you. There's a ministry birthed in you. There's what you enjoy or you would love to do, even in church. And sometimes it may not actually be in a church setting necessarily, you know, because you know, there's this bit where they say ministry is only in the church walls, you know, but there's someone probably who will go out there and help kids with food and stuff and all of those things. Yeah, so those are ways in which they can be able to build their spiritual capacity, and also generally, you know, they can empower themselves by just exposing themselves to learn different things, you know, in different aspects and arenas. Even economically, you know, you still build capacity, learning how you can be able to acquire more, even financially.
I've just recalled there is this minister wrote and said that I have learned to put myself on fire so that the world can come and see me burn. It's like building capacity in this time, this season that I am in, so that the world can come and see me burn. That means there is an impact that I'm going to cause at the end of the day. So, as you've just mentioned, prayerfulness is very key in building the capacity. I think she had mentioned something about getting equipped in reading books and, you know, getting packaged with great content. Because without knowledge, the Bible says that my people perish due to lack of knowledge. When you don't have a knowledge of something, so it means that we are going to perish by the end of the day. So, as we continue in this discussion, why is building capacity important? Why is building capacity such an important thing in the life of this young person? Maybe if I can begin with you, Eva.
Yeah, it's very important because it's like laying a foundation of something that will last, you see. It's like putting, you know how people build a house, you can't just start building from just a mere land or ground. You have to first establish foundation for it to stand. So you need to have that, the capability to sustain you in future. And when you put it in church perspective, you see you have to start the initial stages, go to Sunday school, learn, and then you go to the teenage classes also, you learn. And then now when you now exposed to, of course you'll be serving, since in Sunday school you'll be serving, now it reaches point, now you know what you're called for. You see, until you get to know what you're called for, excuse me, you'll be like lukewarm. You are not here, you are here, you are not here, you are here. But once you identify a place of your service in church, it will help you pave way. Like it won't be hard for you to know your place. Even if you change, environmental change and all that, you go to another place, you won't find nitaenda kwa medium. You already have your place because you set your foundations well. And so building capacity for me ways first, it's like putting a foundation of something that will last forever. Yes.
And you see, I have noticed that in many instances people build capacity, and it is just like when you go to the gym, you want to exercise and you want to remain fit, and there are people who go to the gym and by the end of the day it hasn't changed anything. Why is it that we still have failures who have spent quality time in building their capacity, but by the end of the day they don't even succeed? Why do people fail even after, getting to pray, going to church, relating well with people, getting industrious people, reading books, but they still not succeed? Is it that God is unfair? Is it that God shows partiality to some and to others He doesn't show? Why is it that we are still having people fail and they still spend time in building their capacity? Maybe Carol.
There are several reasons as to why maybe that could be the case. One could be maybe you build a capacity in an area that does not align with you as a person. Maybe based on my skills and interests and talents, I choose an area that is completely off. So to begin with, my interest may not be there, so I'll not even have the energy to go and do all that and just tunasemanga kujituma, that kind of thing. So that misalignment, and again, I think basically that one, when you search who you are as a person, then you get to know where exactly do I fit, and this is a search that I think as young people they keep growing and finding out who they are. Who am I actually? What are the things God has put in me? So where or which areas should I build capacity on? Then maybe the other part, even as my colleague here will get to share, is the spiritual side of things. Not denying the fact that kuna vitu ambazo zina cause, as much as everything is well physically, you've done all that you could do. Weza kuwa kuna vitu tu labda zinahinda, all of that. So I think you've mentioned that with prayer and also getting to see the men of God, to just share some of those things.
And then having an open mind when you approaching everything. You see, you don't just go to something specific like niko clogged to this thing. But when you approach things in an open mind, you are able to, even if it fails, haitakuumiza sana, or you won't feel like you are lost in some strange places. Again, that's why we have our servants of God church. They can guide us. They can guide or show us. Sometimes they are able to notice that this one, he's been called for this specific thing. What if he puts more effort on that? So when we have an open mind and seek advice from men of God, I think it can align you. You won't fail. Yes.
Ignorance has been a key element to a majority of young people when they are trying to climb the ladder of building their capacity. We are reaching out to a generation that some, they don't know how well I can build my capacity. They don't know how well I can pray. they don't know how well I can still get to where I want to be. As we say that our topic is waiting on God, and we tried to split it to certain elements. Now, trying to get to understand as I wait on God, and the ignorance aspect has been deep in the inside of me as a young person. How can I get along? Or rather, how can I put aside this ignorance as I wait on God, so that I can capitalize and get to the final destination of making impact? Yes, Carol.
Ignorance can be conquered with exposing yourself to knowledge.
Yes.
And
like we say that my people perish with lack of knowledge. Meaning that knowledge is very much industrious.
Yeah. Very true. So looking at the areas where you have gaps in, where you have interests to learn in particular areas, then you expose yourself to such, and you commit yourself not just to read but also to do. You know, sometimes it may actually mean paying for a course. You know, 3 months, 6 months, a year. You know, just to acquire that skill, to expose yourself in that knowledge, and then that way, from not just now church, when you now get out there to the society, to the world, in the different mountains of impact, you know, be it media, you know, in the areas of entertainment and filmmaking and movies and all that, be it in music, be it in all these areas, careers, in education, in all the aspects that we have. Then once you have the knowledge, it empowers you. Umeshika kitu ambayo you can use it, not just for yourself, but also to equip the people you are serving. You serve with excellence, you work with excellence where you are, and then you are also able to train and to mentor other people.
Then aligning yourself with the right people. You see, you can't be lost when you have the right people on your channel or in your group. And sometimes in church you find like there are those who are hesitant to start their call. Then it will be easy for you to slip away. The road will be slippery for you. But aligning yourself, there is that consistency part of some people that will show you that this is the right people. They are the right people I should work with. So if you align yourself with the right people around you, you will find a way to pave up the ladder.
Wow, that's too much interesting. Remain tuned. It is JM Talk Forum, where we get inspired and we get impacted to reach out to the generation and the generations of the world. As we come to the closure, my guests for today, we really want to build capacity. There is somebody somewhere who has never understood this concept of building capacity. And we go to church. We want to conquer in prayer. How can I conquer prayerlessness? You know, as an element, as I build my capacity. If I can begin with you, Eva.
Oh, well, you have to read the word. And when you read the word, you just get a revelation on some ways on how to maneuver. The other thing is you get to listen to the men of God. YouTube is there. I'm sure you've heard of specific preachers. You can listen to different of them and you get to have that zeal, yani unawekwa kiu ya kutaka kujua Mungu, to pray and all that. And then going to church, it's not just by attending also. If you participate, morning glory and all that, you find yourself, you're good to go.
Yeah, why is it that, Carol, a majority of people in the church setup, as we've just talked, we dig deeper, seeking for God. But the generation outside there, it's expanding more and more. They are winning in the job market. They are winning in all the sectors. Is it that there is a concept that we've not introduced in our, or rather how we seek God, how we wait on God? Why is that they still succeed more than us? And they are getting an upper hand in the market. What can we as young people do in this season that once we get outside there, we are going to get an advantage in the market?
That is an interesting question there. Yeah, so why is it? Why? That's the question.
The outside world is succeeding more than us who are in the church. And we see that we've built capacity. You go along on the way and you realize that that born again brother or sister walks along the streets with an envelope with documents inside. They've not got a job. Somebody who does not even know God. From the degree, even before they wait for the graduation, they are inside. They are working. Why is it happening like that?
Well, and I can see that kuna hii quote inasemanga the grass looks greener on the other side. But someone else said that the grass is actually green where it is watered. Mahali iko watered itakuwa green.
Yeah.
So yeah, some of them who are out there, they'll actually look and admire these ones who are in charge. Like, hey, sisi tuko hooked up labda kwa addictions nini, you know, like hata hii azinisaidi, you know, things like this. But here we are looking at it in that way. Now, I'll not be on either side, but I'll talk of the aspect of balance, where we know that as a man, we are 3 in 1. We have a body, a soul, and a spirit. So, as we cater for our spiritual man in prayer and through the Word of God, we also get to also educate our mind and expand ourselves as people in who we are, to gain the knowledge and just have that all-round man. Yeah, and then well, you've asked about why the people in church. I may not have the exact answer as at now,
yeah, it's true.
But just encourage that person who is also in church, trust in God, hopes in God, to also seek to know who they
just
are.
like we are going to discuss in the next coming discussions about patience in waiting on God. This person who walks along the streets, they anticipate that someday I'll still get along and I'm going to succeed. That means as I build capacity, there is an hope that I will still get to somewhere. As I build capacity, I am patient that I will still get to a place that I want to go.
Yeah, have that basically as they build the patience, they also gain the knowledge, so that they can be able to get out there.
Because I've realized we are having a generation that is perishing. We are having a generation that, well, in the church setup, in the mosque, and in the society, we are having so many forums to be packaged with much wisdom. but the wisdom does not benefit a number of people. Because one, I think building capacity, it requires me to have the willingness to grow, right? To have that desire to be an industrious person. But too many people, they've ignored that fact that I must be willing. Just like the people who are in the church setup, we talk about getting saved. The scripture in Romans says that you must believe when the word has been preached to you. When you believe, you confess. You believe it yourself, then you get running so that you can get to somewhere. So, as you've just mentioned, the two of you, it means that there must be some willingness, an inner desire that, yes, I really want to reduce my body. Then I get along and I go to the gym, I exercise, knowing that I can exercise and I may reduce, or it might not come as I want, but I still have some hope. So I've just got to understand that building capacity, it's important, but it's not easy. We still have failures, even as we build capacity. We still have people who don't make it alone. And we say that it's good to fail. And we talk about failing. I would urge us now, as we get to this discussion now, what can we tell this young person who has really built capacity and has failed? Do I need to give up, or I can still continue in this? Do I give up, or I need to embrace persistence, as I think she mentioned somewhere along the way? Can I embrace persistence and consistency in the same? Yeah, Carol.
I'm reminded of somebody, the one who discovered the light bulb, I believe. He tried 99 times.
Wow.
And then the 100th time.
Yeah.
The light bulb, yeah. Yeah, so that basically speaks of persistence. Not giving up. Something in him kept him going. Like, kifikiria ningefika 49, niko like, I'm done. Niko like, nimefika hiyo ya 50, sasa nimemaliza. The same way for, I think, Abraham Lincoln. I'm not cite examples, I can't remember, but kuna president akajaribu the lower levels until he tried with failure, until he tried the top.
Yeah, Abraham Lincoln.
Yeah, so that is basically persistence. So regardless, unaweza kuwa umepersist hapo, umefail, kumbe kitu nakuja kudiscover, it will be a hit. It will make such an impact to the world and encourage other people. So not giving up and seeing that actually there is value with everyone. Like God created people with value in them. There is no one that unaweza angalia useme huyu tu ni hakuna. So with everyone believing that yes, there's value that I can add to the world. When your light shines, mine shines, yours shines, then the world is beautiful. But if there's a missing light, there'll be a missing gap for someone.
Wow. As we come to the closure of this discussion, there's a young person who has been watching you, and they really want to, in a few seconds, if you can just release a word to them and an understanding on how they can build their capacity. In a few seconds, even as you come to the closure, so that even as you end the show, somebody will feel energized, somebody will feel inspired, somebody will feel packaged with something. If I can begin with you, Eva.
Well, there is no shortcut. You have to
enter in the process.
Yes, you have to enter in process. And even if you choose now to back down, even backing down, there's kuna targets hata pia huko mkirudi nyuma. So the best way is to press on a higher mountain. Because it's through endurance that we persevere, and then we get to our place of promise. To the young people outside there, the road will never be easy. And if it becomes easy, then you are failure. Endure that as you build your capacity for you to enjoy the best fruits in life. So as you build your capacity, equip yourself with the right, give yourself the right food to take. And when I say the right food, I'm not saying necessarily the food we eat. Get to equip yourself with knowledge, skills, and all that. After doing that, ask God for wisdom on how to sustain it. And then it's all coated with having that Christ-like character. You just go and read how Jesus was, his character. He never gave up at all. So if you get to have that mentality, life will be favorable for you. So let's accept to go through the grill for the betterment of tomorrow.
Thank you so much, Eva, for that good closure. And we appreciate you so much for coming. It's been a great honor that you found time to come. Maybe, Carol, your closing remarks as you address that young person on the same aspect.
I'd like to tell someone, the young person who is watching, to get out there. Jitume. What is that skill you've always wanted to learn? Go out there, kama ni baking, enda usome, kama ni entrepreneurship, ulikuwa unataka, go do finance, learn that extra skill. Take that book, read that book, read those books, ask, consult those who know, and tujitume, you shall see fruits, and do not give up. Put God first.
Wow.
Shall be well.
Wow. Thank you so much, Carol. It's been a great pleasure being your host today. And the discussion is very simple. Get along, know your worth. There is value in every person. There is a value that God has put in you. When you see people go to the supermarket and they go to purchase the liquid oil, and they don't rush to get ile kimbo ya kitambo, there is a value that somebody fests on an item. So the place value of you is the capacity that you build in yourself. Place value in yourself. Go and put yourself in the fire. Gold is put in the fire, it is refined in the fire, so that your future will become much glamorous. It is going to shine. Don't limit yourself because your father, your friend did not achieve something. Know your worth, know your value, and get along. You might fail along the way, but still embrace, continue running, so that you are going to achieve that thing that you want. So it's a final shot, and we encourage you. You've been our viewer, our listener, and I know God has a plan for you. Share this message along and ensure that you reach to somebody, and by the end of the day, a generation will emerge with much capacity to get ahead and to bring out what God intended for us. I've been your host, Laban, and I'm glad that you've been my viewer. So God bless you so much. There are numbers that are running down on your screen. I know you have questions. You can ask the questions down there. I know there is a discussion that you might want us to discuss in this show. You can place it down on the comment section so that in our coming sessions we can have it discussed, and by the end of the day we benefit the generations at large. So thank you so much. I'm looking forward to see you once again. To my guests, we truly appreciate. God bless you so much for coming, and we are happy to have you today. Bye bye.
Thank you for having us.
See you next time. All right. How can a young person be consistent on a purpose? How can a young person?
You see a person doing or behaving a certain way. It is out of information. You dress like you think.
Yeah.
You talk like you think. Out of what is inside here, the fullness within here, that's what the mouth speaks.
Yeah.
So what you have in your head, you behave like that.
What do you understand by social media?
Yeah, social media, it's a platform, it's a connect. Mostly socializing. It's a media of exchanging information.
To be inspired, be ready to be transformed, be ready to get something great, something that is going to change, to receive a word for you.